G'day guys, welcome back to VTA. We're back here in my workshop and we're going to do a little bit more on the 25. So thanks for joining us, like, subscribe, we'll get into the video. Alright, so something I've been a little bit worried about for a while now is the water pump. I haven't really touched it at all. Granted, we do have another tractor for parts, but belt's been on it the whole time. I haven't tried to turn it. I don't know what it's like. So we're going to probably pop the belt off, pull the actual water pump out itself, see what the bearings and everything are like. Fingers crossed, there's nothing wrong with it. But realistically, it might need a new bearing or some seals or something like that. So we'll dig into it and see what it's like. So the water pump came off no problems at all. What I ended up doing was taking the governor off as well. Basically the cross shaft that comes across here, that crosses over to linkage to the carby was in the way. So took that off. The water pump came off easy as. We'll go over here to the bench. As I said, there's the governor, which we will obviously have to dig into as well. But the water pump itself, so that's the snout essentially. That's not actually the water pump, but bearing in that is actually good, which is amazing. I did not expect that to be the case. And the actual water pump, if I can do it, it spins quite freely. It seems excellent as well. So essentially I'm just going to clean them up, cut some new gaskets and put it all back together. Yeah, so really happy with that. That's an easy job and we'll get into it. You do have to free up this pulley though. So the way this pulley works to tension the belt, these holes are slotted and you move the outer, this half of the V actually adjusts, and then the belt, obviously as you bring it in, the belt rides higher and higher on the pulley, and that's what tightens the belt. So I do need to free that up, and I will make sure grease is going in through the nipple. But yeah, other than that, it's all looking pretty good. So what I've actually found here, which is actually quite different to the pacemaker, is the bolt is essentially just holding on to the thread. This here is just a big nut, and it threads on, as you can see through the hole there, onto this section. So what you can actually do is, I'm just on this nut, which nut's still got a split pin in it, so it can't turn on the shaft. And I can, it's a bit stiff, but I can just turn this and it's slowly threading out. So what I'm going to do is thread it all the way out. And once it's all the way out, I can clean it all up, put it back on. It should be happy as Larry. It all should work perfectly. So pretty happy that that's actually coming free easily. And yeah, we'll keep into it. Time to make a gasket. So just got a roll of gasket paper here. Nothing special. You can buy that from most industrial suppliers. I've cut a piece off it that's going to be big enough to do what we want. Then I should be able to just give it a nice little tap, and it will cut itself. So I'll get into that. All right, so there is one gasket. Easy as that. As I said, you just sit the paper on there, you hold it in place, obviously you don't want it to move, and you just tap around the edges and use basically the edge as the sharp part and the ball just to run off. I tend to sort of go like that, and it will cut the gasket for you. So that's one. This actually requires two because it's sort of in two pieces. That goes on to there, although it may not even need a gasket there. Anyway, that piece goes onto there, and then the other half needs to go on here. And due to all this being in the way, what I'm going to do is I'm going to use this as my template to cut the second gasket. But of course, the second gasket doesn't have this flat on it. So what I'm actually going to do is, I'm hoping that these are evenly spaced. So if I turn it, then it all will line back up, which it will. So then I can use the curve in a different spot to cut the last piece of the gasket. So basically what I would do is, instead of, when this was on there, instead of cutting along this, I would cut all the way around and miss this section. Then I will turn it probably just 90 degrees, and then I will cut around there so that this will end up being round instead of having the flat on it, and obviously the center circle's round, so that's easy. So I'll dig into that right now, and you'll see me in a sec. So as you can see there, what I've done with these holes is I've literally just hit them with the ball of the hammer, and then I've been working my way around the edge. You can actually, if you look close, you can see where each of the hits are. You know, I'm moving 5 millimeters each time, or however much, probably a bit less. And you just work your way right round. You'll see I missed a spot there, so I will have to go around probably twice. But it's much more accurate than actually cutting it by hand or laying it out and trying to draw it. So it's I find this is the quickest way to make gaskets. Okay, so there's the result. As I said, I just turned it quarter turn once I'd done most of it, and now it should all go together. I'll even take it straight over to the engine itself and sit it in place. There we go. Fits beautifully over the bolts. So what I'll actually do is I will put a little bit of sealant on this and bolt it all together. Okay, so as you can see, we've got it bolted back on. Pretty simple. Slip this first one on with a gasket in there, put a bit of sealant on it, slid it home. Looking at it in hindsight, I actually probably didn't need to make gasket for this second one at all, because if anything gets in there, it's supposed to leak out because there is a witness hole down the bottom. But anyway, I put the gasket in there anyway, bolted it all up tight. Happy days. So this one, obviously, that's free now, so that's easy to put together once we get the belt sorted. But I've got to go buy a belt because, as you can see by the one on the ground there, it is absolute junk. Alright guys, thanks for joining us again. Another quick video. Obviously just chipping away at this, only getting a little bit done, but all these little jobs have got to be done to get the tractor finished, so good to just keep ticking things off the list. Like, subscribe, and we'll see you next time.